welcome to my motherfucking channel, okay? Welcome to the Urban Alchemistic H.P.I.C, hashtag the Dexter of Brujas, and the H.P.I.C stands for what? The High Priestess in Charge, okay? So today is Saturday, March 14th, 2026. It's a beautiful day in sunny LA. I feel like we honestly skipped winter for real. Like, we had a few cold nights, I'm not gonna lie. Had to turn the heater on, but it didn't really last too long. This is probably the warmest February I've seen in a while. Not gonna lie. Alright, so it is 3:04. We actually started at 3:03 p.m. Shout out to 33, shout out to 74% on my phone. That's 11. Okay, 33 and 11, both master numbers, the master teacher and the master visionary. So today we're going to be talking about social media is not a real place. So last night I decided to, I was writing in my journal, and I decided to do like a 3-part series and kind of section it off. So we're doing a 3-part series so far, 3 parts. Okay, I just want to tackle different things of social media. So there's just some things that I noticed off of social media is how people like to. How people inflate their platforms, how you can't really where's my book? Okay, so I got it right here. So basically I wanted to bring up a couple of talking points throughout this series. So this is part 1 of social media is not a real place. This is a TikTok compilation. We're going to talk, and I'm basically inspired by some of the things that I've been seeing, and like how people inflate their platforms, how they exaggerate and fake whole blow-ups and lifestyles. I've noticed that in the spiritual community online, that people will try to fake an image and assume, they try to fake an image to make it seem like they're ascending. They try to fake their glow-ups. I see this with influencers, celebrities, multi-level marketing, MLM. I see this a lot in the spiritual community as well. People will literally fake the whole lifestyle. We already know about bot farms, so it's fake comments, fake likes. You can even customize the comments that you get. Yes, you can. You can customize the comments. There's websites where you could buy comments, customize them. You can purchase likes, you can purchase views. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is don't believe the hype. Okay, I've seen some motherfuckers in the tarot land community, and I'm like, bitch, you faking that whole entire glow up. You know what I'm saying? So the first episode, we're going to talk about people faking their lifestyles, their personas, and how that induces social media depression in others. And I'm going to be a little bit more candid and talk about that as we get further in the video. But it can cause unequivocal comparisons, unnecessary comparisons, when you realize how much people fake for social media. People fake their relationships for social media. People fake their lives. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people out there living extraordinary lives, but I'm going to tell you this. The gag is people that are really living great lives, they hardly ever post, or they don't even have social media. Okay? Have you ever had anybody judge you because you don't post that much? But when you were posting and you were promoting this and promoting that, you didn't get any likes, engagement, or anything? Or the only time somebody says something to you, says something on your page, is to prove you wrong? Or you post something on your social media and somebody is inboxing you and shit like that, or whatever. They don't support outwardly, but they'll be all up in your DMs or inbox, things like that. So we're going to talk about that in the first episode. The second episode, we're going to talk about AI filters, Facetune. Like I'm still gathering the information for that. That's going to be a funny ass episode. The AI, the filters, the Facetune, basically high-tech, sophisticated catfishing. It's crazy. I just came into AI filters. I did not know there was such a thing. So I definitely do have opinions on that. We're going to touch briefly on it, but we're going to save most of the commentary for the second episode. The third and final episode, well, not really going to be a final episode. It might be a little bit more than 3 episodes, but just so far I'm going to give you guys a 3-part series. And this one's going to be on messy TikToks that went tragedy. Now, I did do a little taste of this some previous episodes back with Honest Obs about the Rizzy story from Messy Talk. I'll be sure to put the link for the description for that. That was my first Honest Obs TikTok compilation on Messy TikTok. We're going to do another one just to kind of talk about how people have ruined the lives of other people, pushed them to self delete, or push them to delete others, cancel other people out, if you know what I mean. Pew pew, this and that. Like people being pew pewed on Facebook Live, on TikTok Live. We're gonna talk about things like that, like basically the dark underbelly of social media. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with these TikToks. But before we do, let's tackle some of the talking points that I've written down so I don't lose track, you guys. Okay, so about the fake lifestyles. If you watch a lot of these videos about if you watch documentaries on social media, you will definitely find that social media definitely does cause social media depression. I at one point had social media depression, and this was back in the Facebook days. This was like over 10 years ago. So it's crazy me talking about it now. I'm like so far removed from that. But I don't mind speaking about it now. So this was at a time before I knew about people faking their lifestyles. I really kind of like took Facebook at face value, no pun intended, in some ways. And there used to be a lot of crazy stuff, spiritual warfare, digital evil eye. People, before I was even conscious of me being able to pick up on people making posts about me. Like, y'all remember how it was on Facebook before you really started being in tune with your intuition and shit like that. So I remember like in the 2010s, I started my Facebook page in 2009. That's when social media kind of was like starting to become a thing or whatever. I had tried MySpace through a young relative of mine. That was like 2008. So that was my first social media, was MySpace and Facebook. So Facebook was originally for college students, and I was college age when I signed up for Facebook. And this is the early 2000s, 2004, 5, yeah. So I was college age at the time, and I remember going on there and wanting to like connect with everybody. I had just moved back to the West Coast, so I was trying to connect with people that I went to school with in the DMV and people I went to school with in California before I left and all that stuff. When you first join Facebook, you're like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You're just trying to like, da-da-da. But slowly over time, you realize that your best supporters are people that don't know you at all. And that people will use social media to keep tabs on you. We know how it is. Okay, so anyways, I had social media depression like in the late 2000s, early 2010s, because you will really feed into the image that you see and the things that people post, and you'll actually believe that it was real. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to comparing yourself and things like that. So I'm doing this video to kind of like tell other people to not compare themselves, to tell you guys like what I've learned and just using the things that I've observed. Me celebrating my even the smallest or minus victories, it's still a victory. Me celebrating it, and then somebody trying to compete with what I'm posting by making comparisons between them and me, even though they have inflated platforms, they've plagiarized off of my content, used my mannerisms, my colloquialisms, pretty much like trying to like pretty much manifesting and creating things off of people's energy. This happens to the best of us, right? We've all had our energy exploited. We've all had people digital evil eye us on social media. We all dealt with it, and once we got smarter and sharper, we changed the way how we conducted ourselves on social media. We changed how often we post, what we post. We're more mindful than we were before. But when I first got social media, I didn't really know how to use it, so it was just like whatever. I got a crash course on what to do and what not to do. Luckily, nothing didn't go viral or anything like that, but I've definitely dealt with Facebook drama with family. I had my business put out there before. Yeah, it got pretty crazy. I defended myself from relatives, even made bitches shut their motherfucking pages down because they couldn't deal with the truth. And yeah, it was a lot of stuff. When I look back, and I'm like, oof, man, I'm telling you. The things that I'm able to pick up on in the spiritual community and in the secular community on socials now, I had that gift back then, but people tried to make it seem like like I was tripping or something. But I knew when people were targeting my energy. I was good at sniffing out subliminals, and they just couldn't believe that I was able to do it. And I would get so much confirmation, synchronicities through the news feed, all that stuff that I talk about now. I was experiencing it in Facebook, but I couldn't quite put a name or a face to it. You know what I mean? So I had social media depression for a little bit. I was also dealing with like bereavement and things like that, because I really did believe what people were posting, and you get to comparing the stuff like I'm this age and I'm not, da da da. So this is a video for my late bloomers out there. Oh, I just had like a deja vu moment. Interesting. So this is like a late bloomer type of video. Those who bloom later in life versus those who bloom earlier in life. Okay, some people become successful. So some people, they become successful later in life. Some people, they strike gold early in life. Some people, everybody blossoms at different points in times. That's why it doesn't make sense to compare yourself to anybody, because everybody blossoms on their own sweet time. Social media made it so that people are constantly trying to show off things, and there's nothing wrong with showing your accomplishments. I'm not doubting anybody that's showing their accomplishments, but the thing is, when it comes to stoicism and Machiavellianism, the last thing that you want to do is showboat things, because you're basically making a smoke signal for people to come and take what you just posted. That's why you have to be careful with what you share on social media and all that. And I used to, when I first started social media, I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know, what I'm saying? So I just kind of I was very open, and I was oversharing, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't realize how much people had harvested a lot of my energy on Facebook for years, harvested my energy, constantly reposting after me, constantly copying off my posts, constantly subliminal, like all that stuff that that I've talked about on YouTube. I was going literally do the same thing on Facebook, but it took me years to realize things and how to move and how to navigate. It took me a while to learn that shit, and that's why I try to teach other people. Okay, so they are social media depression causes an increase in narcissism. Yes, the social media definitely does increase the level of narcissism. Now, having a little bit of narcissism is healthy, but I feel like social media definitely exacerbates narcissism. It encourages narcissistic behaviors, because narcissists like to do what? Devalue people, smear campaign people. So the internet is where people can do that freely under anonymous pages, and this is where they will say things that they normally would never say to anybody in public. There are people that be talking hella shit online, and when you see them in person, they act like they don't see you. They got their head down, or the tension is fucking them up so much that they have to come up to you and try to, try to give that fake ass olive branch or fake compliment you. And I've been in those situations where, relatives and people online would say certain stuff or whatever, say subliminals based off of what I've been posting. They act like they fucking know me and shit, and they going by what other bitches said about me, and they don't even know them bitches. They don't even realize that at the time when they were making little subliminals, they didn't realize that the subliminals they was making also applied to the bitches they were sucking up to. You know what I'm saying? So, but when they saw me in person, they felt guilty. They see my presence, how strong my presence is, and how I'm quiet and I'm observant. I just look by me, and they just be like, oh, let me hurry to say something to her first, or they try to get other people to talk to me, or, you know what I'm saying, like try to get other people to heat seek me and all that stuff, or they literally just kiss my ass in front of my face. And I just be like, I'd be gracious about like, oh yeah, you ain't on nothing. I knew it, bitch. I knew all that shit you was talking online. You wasn't on that, girl. I know that. So it's like that. So some people, they don't really know. They don't have. They build up a persona, because online you can pretty much be whoever you want. So they build up a persona, and they don't live up to it in person. I'm proud to say that I lived up to it in person. I even met somebody off of Facebook. This girl I used to talk to, because I'm not on Facebook, I'm not a part of that world. Like, I just started posting recently, but I'm not like on Facebook, like scrolling or commenting on people's stuff, looking at people's posts. No, when I go on Facebook, I go straight to my page. I do have an Urban Alchemistic official Facebook page, so you guys can add me on there. I do have an Urban Alchemistic Facebook page. So you know how they kind of have your personal page, and then they have the business page. You switch between it. So I have a digital creator page, business page, whatever, that I post from, and then sometimes I post from my page, my personal page. but I don't interact, so I'm not really in the mix of Facebook anymore. I've been out of the mix on Facebook for about 6 years now. I got off of it in 2020, like mid 2020. I kind of got off of it. A lot of people are heat seeking me, and interesting. A lot of people have been saying um, that Friday the 13th is like a do-over for 2020, and it's interesting because 2020 came up in my energy a few days ago. I was speaking about it like, damn, 2020 was a good year for me. It may have been bad for other people, but it was different for me because it wasn't much of a lifestyle change. You know what I'm saying? I'm a homebody. It gave me more time to study. They was giving us them $1,200 checks, them little unemployment checks. They was giving us, girl, they was giving us that $1,200 semi-weekly. The gig work was popping. I was making money with gig work, with remote work. Like as far as like the finances, it was way better in 2020, and it just allowed us the time to just sit down, study. I got into the stock market in 2020, so I was making money through it. I had like 3 or 4 different incomes: stock market, gig work, independent contractor work. What else was I doing? Stocking gig. Oh yeah, remote work was big, and I've been doing remote work before that time. So I was doing remote work. I was doing gig work. I was doing all kinds of stuff, and I was getting checks. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good time, and I spent the majority of my 2020 not fucking with nobody. And then everybody started heat seeking me on social media, trying to mirror my energy back at me, trying to act like they're on the same level. You know how that goes. And I ended up letting people back in, like a little bit of people back in September, you know, because the world was changing and a lot of people was using that as an excuse to get back in your life. And you just, at the time I was on some different shit, like, you know, life's too short, whatever, let bygones be bygones, like I'm on some new shit, whatever type shit. That's what I was on. So it's interesting how they said, they were saying that on TikTok, watching this girl video, Kaya, the real Kaya, shout out to her, I like her channel. She was playing some TikTok videos, and one of the guys was saying that how it's like a redo of 2020. So yesterday I did some affirmations, and I kind of spoke that 2020 energy, only certain aspects of it. Like I said, for the 2020s, I spent a majority of 2020. That was the first time I excommunicated myself from the family. I exiled myself. I said 2020, I said, let's see if I can do a whole year without not fucking with nobody. Let's see how far I get. Let's see how good I do. And I actually did really good in 2020. So good that bitches started heat seeking me. People started, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know when you're on some good energy, when everybody's trying to get in, or everybody's misinterpreting you, or everybody's trying to collab with you, or everybody's trying to look for an angle to get in there, negative or positive, you know? So, yeah, that was one of the energies that I was pulling back in. But this time, I'm shutting down that gate, because in 2020 I was like, I'm on some new stuff. I'm not gonna fuck with nobody. And majority of 2020 was great. Now towards September, I got invited to a former female relative house, and I ended up reconnecting with them, reconnecting with my sister. Prior to 2020, I had gotten into a physical altercation with my sister. We got into a big fight, and this was November 30th going into December 1st. That night of 2019, I got into a physical altercation, okay, with my sister. And after that, I said, okay, she's the last person from my immediate family just still lingering on, pretending that she was on my side. But whenever she get, that's another story, but whenever she gets, targeted by the collective, she'll come up and be up underneath me and harvest of my energy and blah, blah, blah. I was trying to show her how to defend herself, blah, blah, blah. But then she ended up, when I would hold her accountable, she would start using the same talking points as the collective, aka my siblings and the rest of the siblings and my mother. So we had a final fight, and I said, okay, good. Now get the fuck out of my life type shit. Like, okay, good. We already fought, everything is blowing up to this point, and I just finally said things that I wanted to feel. This is when I started speaking up. And so I said, okay, I made a vow to myself, because December 25th is my grandma's anniversary of her transition. And I think that after I lost my grandma, I really started to kind of think about who I wanted in my life and who I didn't, because I felt like the woman that loved me the most, that really was a true ally, a true mentor, I don't have her anymore. So people are looking at me like I am a wounded, they're circling me, circling around me like a vulture. You know what I'm saying? Because they know and I know I don't have nobody but myself and my daughter, of course, and my father. I don't have anybody else here in California, right? So they knew that. So I was like, all right, so I gotta be on some different shit next year. So I had a peaceful 2020. I didn't have any drama, but when towards the end of 2020, I ended up welcoming certain energies back in, certain relatives back in, and then stuff started to happen, right? So I danced the last dance with them from late 2020 to summer of 2023, July of 2023, and that's when I cut off those people. So I try to let few people back in, and then shit started to happen, and I was like, all right, I gotta scale it back. So this is like gonna be a do-over for me as far as 2020. This is gonna be a do-over. This time I know what I know now in 2023, and I think it was meant for me to have that last dance between late 2020 and mid 2023. I was meant to see the things I was seeing. Spirit wanted me to see people get their karma. People that were, on some fake shit and weird shit when I first came out here to California. Spirit wanted me to see it. This is a feminine spirit, interesting. They wanted me to see, you always been right about this person. That's why they treated you like A, B, and C. I'm going to show you they really a punk ass bitch. I'm going to show you that there was nothing to be worried about with this person, that this person is all talk and, da-da-da. And that's what it showed me. That's what these 3 years showed me. So I said, okay, good. I've seen everything I needed to see. So beginning of 2020, by beginning of 2024, I said, okay, boom, all of y'all are gone. I'm wiping the slate clean. I'm knocking all the pieces off the board. We're going to start from the beginning. So I basically had like a spiritual genesis again, another rebirth again. So I'm always constantly rebirthing and reinventing myself, always. There's so much things that I want to say about social media, but I'm going to put it in parts. I'm going to make a series of it, and I feel like it'll be helpful. This is a way for me to alchemize the energy and the things that I've been observing these past couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue going. So another thing about social media, people who crash out, fatal outcomes. That's what we're going to be covering in a future episode. But you guys have seen it, and you guys seen what can happen online. The increase of narcissism, people crashing out on live, wanting to embarrass somebody, bullying somebody, and then somebody goes on live and they take care of the situation and what they feel is best, harming that person, meeting up with somebody to go fight and putting on your camera to go live. Now, if you're going live to, protect yourself, for legal purposes, for evidence, then go live. But there's always this thing of people wanting to record people. I remember seeing a fight on the blue line years ago. This nigga got hands. Woo-wee. This light-skinned nigga had hands for days. He like he was black and Mexican. Anyway, he was wearing all black too. He was fine too. Anywho, but yeah, he beat the fuck out this white boy. I had to pick up the white boy off the ground like, you good? I had to pick him up because this is around the time when touch screens first came out. So it was like, what, 2010, 2011? This is when touch screen first came out. And nobody didn't like being recorded. People still don't like being recorded. I wouldn't want to be recorded. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I see people whip out their phone, I just turn my head and, I turn my back and I just walk away or whatever. Because when you're in public, you can't really stop anybody from, recording. But you can just move out the way, camouflage yourself. And hopefully the person will blur you out of the photograph, because some people do blur the backgrounds and stuff like that. Hopefully they'll do it. But if they don't, you just have to take responsibility because you're out in public. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of hive-minded keyboard gangsters that are online. These are people that will never say shit to your fucking face. Like, y'all see the stuff that I go through on my platform. Do you think any of these bitches will be in my face talking that shit? Hell no, because I will pick them up and I will drop them multiple fucking times. Nobody's really that bold. Everybody's bold behind a fucking screen. And the reason why I say they're hive-minded is because everybody finds a whipping post, and then everybody just jumps on that whipping post. Nobody has a mind of their own. When you're a truth teller and you're saying things online, there's always people that are trying to counteract what you say or play an endless game of semantics, which it never goes anywhere. When people try to play semantics, this is their way of trying to derail the conversation. They derail the conversation with semantics, with deflections. What about ism? They try to spookify it, religify it, spiritually bypass it. There's all kinds of different ringers. They're gonna tell their sob stories. They're gonna be telling biased anecdotal stories, and just ad hominem fallacies. I mean, the list goes on and on when it comes to that. All right. There's also a lack of genuine communication online. Now, for me, the only reason why I kept my Facebook and my Instagram was because I don't like giving out my phone number. Okay, I know I can use a Google number, but I don't like giving out my phone number. So when I used to go out and stuff, and they would ask for my number, I said, "Oh no, I don't do that. You can have my Instagram." And the reason why I get in my Instagram is because when they see what I'm about, they ain't gonna want to fuck with me anyway, and that's like literally the whole motherfucking point. I did that because people kept on playing on my phone. I don't like that shit. So I was like, here is my Instagram. But the reason why I said that is because sometimes it could be a good substitute rather than give people your phone number, where people can use your phone number to look up your information, your address, your this and that. People can look up things with your phone number, right? So that's why I don't give away my phone number. So I just give them my Instagram. So there are some things that you can do to kind of safeguard yourself or whatever, right? But then also, there is a lack of a genuine connection on social media. Like Instagram is so dead. Facebook is weird. So when I go on Facebook, I just go straight to my platform. I try not to look too much at other people's posts. Even though as soon as you get on there, you have to look at like it's literally right there in your face. So if it pops up right in front of me before I get to my actual profile, and it's somebody that I know of and I was cool with, I don't mind giving a little like and then going on about my business. But I don't be looking at people posts. So if anybody was talking shit about me on Facebook, I wouldn't know. Bitch, you lucky. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be there to catch it, and I don't care. But there's a lack of a genuine connection online. Whereas people, like I said, people's online personas don't match who they really are. When you meet them in a real life, they don't have the same attitude. Have you ever tried to have conversations that you had online, offline? It's crazy. I would have a conversation and people would look at me like, "You're not supposed to say that here. You're supposed to say that online." And that's so stupid. I'm like, but if I was to have this discussion online, you would be writing dissertations, you would be writing comments, you would be, you know what I'm saying? So why are certain conversations only reserved for online? Why can't I have the conversations that we have online face to face? That's what we used to do. What do you think we did before fucking social media? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think we did before then? So I just always found that to be weird. And some people will substitute Facebook, places like Facebook and Instagram. Some people just substitute that. And just leave it at that. For some people, this is the only way they express themselves. But then in person, they don't have the same persona, and you'll notice that a lot. So when it comes to the internet, people can create a persona and something that they don't really live up to in public. That's why when you meet these people in public, you're like, oh, okay. And some people are just laid back. Like some of the most funniest people online, they're pretty laid back and chill when you meet them. They just have their moments when they're feeling giddy and goofy, and they get viral. But then when you meet them in person, they're chill, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you meet them, they chill. It's like people are multi-layered. I would say like people are multi-layered. But what I'm speaking about is the lack of genuine, like the insincerity. That's why you have to be careful with what you post on social media. People are very insincere. They enjoy hearing negativity and gossip coming from you. If you have positive strides, this was things that used to trip me out when I was on Facebook in those days. Whenever I would post my achievements, oh, I graduated from school, oh, I got this certification, that license, I would hardly get likes and or comments. It was from people that did not know me from Adam, but they appreciated my personality. I appreciated theirs. I enjoyed their posts. They enjoyed mine, so they commented. But I had relatives and people that were just extremely monitoring spirits. They were down to make subliminals against the things that I would post at the time. But when I was posting like achievements and good things, they didn't say anything. But when I was talking about motherfuckers are so fake, when I spoke on the obvious, every time I speak on the obvious, people get triggered. The same people that intended to evil eye me or harm me in some kind of way, they always come out of nowhere. And I remember going through that on Facebook, like I would just speak my mind and just say stuff. Like I would just say stuff on my shit. Like people are so weird, people are so scripted. I would really literally point out their hypocrisies in my video, not in my videos, but on my posts, my Facebook posts, and then they would inbox me on Facebook and be like, "Are you talking about me?" Or "Let's talk," because they know they feel bad and they feel guilty for how they're treating me, how they're going by what other people say, not going by how I treat them. They didn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people who are drones, people who are mindless NPCs, and it's just monkey see, monkey do type shit. That's why you don't compare yourself to anybody online. People be really faking a whole lifestyle. They'll fake a glow up, they'll fake their ascension, they'll fake their success. And like I said, people who are living extraordinary lives, they hardly ever post, or they don't even fucking have social media. They got somebody else running that shit. So the people that are very private, that don't post much, those are the ones that live the most happiest lives, versus the ones who are constantly performing. They're constantly performing. They're constantly trying to prove themselves to their imaginary haters. They're constantly trying to, like, they're scared of being forgotten. They're constantly trying to prove themselves and mention everything that they're doing, like all kinds of stuff. And I think they do it, and I think that they draw the negative attention that they talk about. Like, for instance, jealousy. People will talk about a bunch of things and show off a fake lifestyle, a fake relationship, a toxic relationship. They'll show all of that out, but you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Before that couple took a picture, they could have been arguing before the picture. When girls take a picture of her and her friends, each one of those girls in that group feel a certain way about each one of the girls in the group. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people where they would just like act like they're having fun when the cameras come on to do their stories. Hey. But any other time when it's over, they just sit down. Like, this shit is weird. Social media makes it also easier for people to mirror your energy right back at you, because all they have to do is sit back in the cut and watch you. You know what I'm saying? Watch how you react to things. Watch what you like, what you don't like. It depends on what you share. Because if you don't share that much, but you just like share your opinion and your commentary, they will try to mirror that energy. Whatever that you're posting, doesn't matter. They will try to mirror your energy right back at you. And then when you meet them in person, they're nothing like what they say. Now, I have met somebody in person on Facebook, and me and her, we was cool online. She did like playing card readings and stuff like that, or whatever. And we developed like a cool rapport. So cool that we actually decided we wanted to meet each other. Okay, she stayed in San Jacinto, California. I stayed in LA. And San Jacinto, that's a far fucking drive. You know what I'm saying? That's way past San Bernardino. So anyways, I was a little nervous, but I was like, you know what? Let's just, let me just be adventurous or whatever, right? I'm a Sagittarius rising, you feel me? So I feel the need to leap, to leave, escape, and flake. I even flake out on myself, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me just, go ahead and do it. I don't really fuck with too many people. Anyway, me and her are pretty cool. So we met each other. Our daughters met each other. And then her daughter was a teenager at the time. So her daughter and the little daughter and my daughter, she was babysitting them, the girls, while me and her went to the Saboba Casino. So we went to Saboba Casino, and she pretty much gave me like a whole little tour, like a cult tour of the casino, which was really fun. Felt like I was on a magic school bus, and she was Miss Frizzle. She just showing me how the thing go. I had went to the Botanica before going over there, and I went live on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I got some oils for us. We can make some money. And it was funny because I had this oil. It was called 33 Essences, Liga de Suerte. It's like an oil that's made like in South America. It's like it has different essences in there, all kinds of herbs. You know the bottle when you see it. It's called 33 Esencias, or Liga de Suerte. So I had that oil, and I remember every machine that wasn't good for us, where we were losing, any bad machine, it would spit out our money. It would just spit it out. And at first I was getting annoyed, but I forgot about the oil. But the money, we anointed the money, whatever. So all the bad machines, the losing machines, they kept spitting out our money. And then the good machines, when our money actually went in, we won. So I had a good time with her, and I remember her telling me this, and it always stuck with me. She said, thank you for matching your energy like how you are on social media. That's exactly how you is in person. I was like, thank you. I was like, we were both pleasantly surprised. So there is good parts of social media where you can meet people, connect with people that you otherwise wouldn't have connected with. And I remember her just telling me that, like, you really are who you said you are, and like she knew that I went hard for Santa Martha at the time. So this was like, this was like 2014, 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. And yeah. So I like remember her telling me, like, your social media self and your real self is the same. You know what I'm saying? And I really appreciate it. It always stuck with me when she said that, because I was kind of wondered, like, I didn't want to be like, I just said, just be yourself, like how you are online, just be yourself. And I literally was just doing just that, and everything worked out. So things can work out. You can meet people that you're cool with. It's definitely a possibility. But I was just speaking to the fact that there is a lack of genuine, sincere connections. Everybody's competing with each other. Everybody's trying to invoke jealousy, but then turn around and complain about jealousy. And that's going to be for another topic for another video too, because I feel like people, as much as they complain about jealousy, they actually like it. Like the girl that recently came out on TikTok and said, hey, I was the jealous friend. It seems like people are kind of like salivating about it, like, yes, and kind of like it's like vultures. You should be glad that somebody actually said the obvious. Like a jealous person actually spoke the obvious and spoke the truth, because we all know that jealous people don't speak the truth. They don't admit that they're jealous. But here's somebody that's actually admitting that they're jealous, and then you have these people like, yeah, da da da, I knew it. And okay, cool, but I just feel like it's weird to me, because you should be glad that she's actually saying what they haven't been saying. It should be confirmation for you, not for you to rub it in. Because I feel like these people that complain about jealousy, they like that. As much as they don't like dirt, they love rolling around in it. So there goes that. There's no genuine connections these days on social media. Some people do not have any social skills because they fake a whole persona online, so they don't live up to the hype in person. Okay. So I kept my Facebook only for events. I remember they used to have a Facebook page called Facebook Local, and that was how I used to know all the events and stuff. When I first started driving, I used to always be on the app, but they removed that app. So I only stay on Facebook for the groups and maybe for like events, because they do have an event page. Instagram is like my phone number. You know what I'm saying? Instagram and Facebook is nothing but a digital meat market. It's a lower realm. Okay, you just have to make it how you want and curate your news feed to how you want it. Okay, I had fell in and out of love with Threads. That was a website that just an app that had came out, I think, last year, and it was good. But then all the vermin from all the other sites came and flooded up Threads, and now Threads is ridiculous now. It's like going over your relative's house, a messy relative's house. Okay. I have a story time on Facebook, caricatures. I guess I'll talk about that in the next video, but I will leave a link for it. But long story short, a person that I used to go to school with, I thought that they was cool or whatever, but once they started getting Facebook famous, they changed and they started becoming very insincere. It probably was always a part of his personality, but once he became what they call Facebook famous, he created a whole persona, and he started being more rude, and he started making subliminals about me and stuff like that. And I remember he was just being like really phony. I remember he didn't comment on my post for like 8 years. One day I said something that was super truthful. I forgot what the fuck it was. One day I said something, and he came out of nowhere commenting on my post and trying to argue. So I remember I had cussed his ass out. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I said, you ain't said nothing to me. You ain't comment on my post in how many years, and now you want to comment because you don't agree with what I said. You triggered by what I said. Like, come on, I've been going through this shit for a long time, y'all. I've always been this way. Okay. So I remember I cussed his fucking ass, and then this is when I had created my podcast. I had my podcast on Spreaker since 2019. So this shit happened like in 2019, early 2020. So I was like, nigga. So I ended up making a whole. This is when I got into tarot and all that stuff in spring of 2019. Then I did my podcast a few months later, and I started doing like my readings and stuff. So I remember when I went through that on Facebook, and me and him got into it. I finally deleted him. I blocked him, everything, all that, right? All the mutuals, all that stuff. And that's when I really started getting turned off of social media. I was like, I gotta get up off of Facebook. Like, fuck this shit. So I remember at the time I did a reading on the situation. I'm not gonna lie, I did a reading on the situation. I found out some stuff, or whatever. But I'll put it in my link. It's one of my older videos, so I'll find it and I'll unlist it and I'll put it in my comment section just for reference. But yeah, I did a reading on the situation. I was like, yeah, you always been a hating ass nigga and da da da. And I posted on my Facebook, so I know he listened to my podcast and shit like that. A lot of people from Facebook was listening to my speaker podcast, and I was speaking my mind, saying stuff that I always wanted to say. You know, people being fake towards me, like old classmates and stuff. I had classmates that were being fake and phony. I was trying to reconnect with people when I came back to Long Beach, and they was being weird. But that's because they was never my friends, and I was young at the time, so I didn't understand that. But as years go by, I realized how fake. That's why I started calling Facebook fake book, or book face, right? Because people are just so, like, it's like you can't judge a book by its cover, right? But that's what they were doing on Facebook. They were judging you by the cover. They didn't give a fuck about what's in the book. They just cared about your face, not the book. You feel me? So yeah, I remember going through that, and I just started getting disenchanted with the internet as a whole. And I said, let me just back up out of Facebook. Ever since I backed up out of Facebook, it was the best decision that I ever made. Social media depression gone, all that stuff gone. You feel me? It was the best decision. Pretty sure you guys can relate. You guys can always share your stories at the bottom, but I know you guys have been through similar things that I have been through, you know, with former classmates, former schoolmates, relatives, ex-friends, ex-lovers, ex-colleagues, you know, things like that. That's why you learned over time how to conduct your social media. You learn not to share certain things. And then when you don't share certain things, when I started to scale my energy and pull my energy back, I did it gradually. And then eventually I just left. I remember when I stopped posting for like 30 days, I stopped posting. I think I was in Facebook jail. I was always in Facebook jail. Anyway, I stopped posting. And I remember a schoolmate who I was I was cool with her, but I think she was probably the one that was very, you know, jealous and competitive with me looking back. And it was like colorism and things like that going on with that situation as well. But I remember she was always harvesting off of my energy looking back, always constantly reposting stuff, knowing that she would get more engagement. And I would post a funny joke and she would repost my stuff or repost the same thing that I would put, like just little stuff like that. Like you could tell people was on my page hard, but then would make little shady subliminals and little, you know, little remarks that pointed towards them having the isms, you know, colorism, texturism, you know, whatever, them having the isms and the phobias, whatever. I remember one time I had stopped talking. I said, let me pull my energy back. And I think I had like a Facebook thing where I could see, but I couldn't comment, post, or anything. I was in Facebook jail. Do you know that she inboxed me? She was like, what happened? You good? You good? Da, da, da. And I used to just be like, and I remember I looked at the inbox and I was like, in a way, I was just kind of like, bitch, why? You know what I'm saying? And she used to be really shady, like when I would comment on her post, because I was trying to reconnect with people from my hometown, but it took me a while to realize how fake and phony, and they never really fuck with me like that. And this is, you know, I was in junior high school when I left in '97, and I moved to the East Coast. I was in junior high, so I was still trying to learn how to navigate, you know, the murky waters of you know, the social life at school. So I didn't understand a whole lot of things. I didn't understand when shit stink and people didn't really like me like that. You know what I'm saying? Or appreciated me like that. So anyways, when I put my energy back and she inboxed me, I just looked at the inbox like, and I'm like, when I was commenting on your stuff, you would purposely ignore my comment and like and comment on everybody else's comments and all this other stuff. But the moment you realized that you couldn't, looking back, the moment she realized she couldn't feed off of me when I pulled my energy back and she couldn't feed off of me, she went to heat seek me in the DMs. Like, you good? You good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. Well, anyways, I think I got everything out. I spoke for like 45 minutes, but that's just what I wanted to say, you know, about social media. How I feel about social media now is now I know how to do it well. I barely even post, and when I do post, I stick with just my own profile. I make it basically. I'm the way I do it. I just center myself. You know, I don't get caught up in any arguments and all that other stuff that I used to do on Facebook and discussion posts and all that stuff. I stay away from that, and I just go strictly to my page. If anything pops up on my stuff before I get to my page, I may leave a like or a comment or whatever, because I ain't no hater. or whatever, and I just go straight to my page and I just post. I don't look to see if anybody liked it. I don't look to see if anybody said anything. None of that stuff, you know. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into these TikToks. Make sure that you guys support each and every person that's featured, the music and everything. Make sure that you guys support. We're going to get into these TikToks, and it's going to be about how social media is not a real place, how not to ever compare yourself to anybody. This is for my younger people and my older people, not to compare yourself to anybody, because we have early bloomers, we have late bloomers. Some of the TikToks are also going to talk about, you know, online attractive versus offline attractive. So let's just go ahead and get into it, y'all.
I cannot be the only one who's noticed that people are cosplaying being strict, loving themselves, not playing about themselves for social media. People will sit down online and repost and share quotes and memes about how they don't play about themselves or how people treat them, and in real life, you actually do. Quite frankly, you should be a fucking playground, because all you get is fucking played. When these people come across people in real life who have very strong discernment, very strong boundaries, they look at you like you're weird because they don't know about these things. They never actually exercised it. My discernment is so high that it makes me extremely dismissive. A lot of people don't understand that I love myself, I fuck with myself, I trust myself so much that I have no ambition to argue with you or to be on bad terms with you. I simply just do not want to be around you. Because my biggest thing is, before I argue with you, disrespect you, fight you, I will rather say nothing. One thing about me, I don't play about how people talk to me, talk about me, or treat me. When you see me on social media talking about following your mind, trusting God, having discernment, paying attention, it's not a fucking gimmick, it's not a joke. This is actually how I maneuver through my life.
And I really hate whoever made social media, because social media really gives bitches a voice that they do not have in reality. Like, a bitch will get on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, and be the hardest bitch walking.
那是用公司来的，好比起往方面，熬夜为电视检定，熬夜为起上不那是用媒体去谁面的紧。
Then you'll catch the bitch out in public and the bitch ain't on shit. Bitch talking about she don't want to fight. Bitch talking about we should have never been arguing. Don't bark up my tree. Don't open a can of my worm. Bitch, don't get me going. Bitch, I'm not just talking to myself. I'm talking and I mean what I'm saying. I don't know. I guess social media ain't for me. But y'all bitches need to stay off social media running your mouth and y'all ain't knowing what the fuck y'all talking. Because it's a bitch like me, when I see you, I don't give a fuck.
Social media is not a real place. It's nothing sacred at all to people. I have no obligation to share my family, my friends, my son, my daughter, my wife, anything with y'all. And this whole thing of posting or not posting your partner and what it means is so immature. Social media is not a real place. If I never post my wife on IG, why would you assume the marriage isn't happy? If I never post about a vacation I just took, why would you assume that I had a terrible time on the vacation? I post on social media what I want people to have free range to talk about when it comes to me. So when it comes to my personal life, I have a very strict mind your business policy. A lot of y'all, especially this younger generation, needs to unplug. Take a break from social media and occupy some social spaces. We don't even have real conversations on these platforms. We take sound bites and we make assumptions. We see a picture and we curate somebody's entire character without even saying a word to them. We are strangers trying to judge each other off of hand-picked photos and 1 minute plus videos. There are some very important, very real people in your lives right now that you're not even saying a word to. Give them some attention. Go spend time with them. Go have a conversation because, and I will never stop saying this, social media is not a real place.
Y'all know good and well when them people come over here telling everybody their business that they don't want you in their business. Y'all should know that by now. Y'all should know that when they come on here telling us their business and all the business and want us to still mind our business, okay? And don't quit going to find people. Unless somebody say, hey, I need y'all to find them, because y'all do a really good job at finding people, okay? But make sure it's the people that actually want you to find people. Stay out some people's business. Be in the business, okay? Because we can talk about the business, okay? Just don't let them find out that we talking about it. They don't like that.
Social media is not a real place. Like, I don't know why y'all steady idolizing these people's lives that y'all do not know. Just because they have a lot of followers on Instagram, or just because they always post it up at somebody's restaurant or somebody's hookah lounge, or always drip down in designer from head to toe. Y'all, I promise you, these people are living regular lives behind closed doors and behind that screen. Okay? Like, they're fighting for their lives. They're living paycheck to paycheck just like everybody else. I promise you. And some of them had to scam and steal to get it. And that ain't what you want, I promise. So if you feel like you behind in life, or you not where you supposed to be, or you could be doing a lot more, I promise you, you are exactly where God wants you to be at right now. Keep grinding, keep working hard for what you want, but don't idolize the next person's life, especially when you don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. Your time is going to come, and when it comes, you will know why God made you wait. But instead of doing that idolization and wishing that you was in somebody else's shoes, just continue to clap for others, because I promise you, your turn is on the way, baby.
Nobody talks about this, but social media is not real. And it's crazy because if you spend enough time on here, you will literally be thinking that you're a loser and a failure at life. You would be thinking that you failed your entire bloodline and that you should just give up. But the thing is, everybody is successful on social media. Everybody is attractive on social media. And everybody is happy on social media. And that's because social media is like a highlight reel and it's not real life. Almost nobody is exactly how they present themselves as they do on social media. And if you think I'm lying, all you have to do is go to your local Walmart. And then you'll realize most people are broke as hell, ugly as hell, and miserable. But it doesn't seem like that on social media because it's not real. Social media is like the playground for marketers. If you know how to create an image and create a brand, you can literally become a whole different person online than you are in real life. So the next time you feel like a loser or you feel ugly, just remember social media is not real.
The internet is not a real place. For the most part, people put on a facade on the internet. Never look at a person's life on the internet and think it's better than your real life. You never know what they're going through behind the scenes.
Don't believe what the fuck social media is telling you. Don't believe what people are posting. Don't think that you see people, they posting about, oh, they got this going on or that going on. That doesn't mean that, oh my God, their life is just so extraordinary. You don't know what the fuck is the real reality of people's shit. They might have something going on, but they have to spend so much money to get there, or they have to spend so much time. Like, just never compare yourself, or never think that like, oh, I guess I just don't have nothing going on. You see all these people, it's like, bro, motherfuckers will have a million views and not have 1 cent in their pocket, bro. Like, social media is the biggest trick of all time. Like, don't believe the hype, y'all. Don't believe the hype. Like, don't believe the hype. I can tell you right now, I get a lot of views on my videos, and I don't really get paid anything from those videos. I can tell you that right now, because it's not these apps and how their monetization is set up and all this shit, it ain't big like that.
As far as a romantic partnership, you don't have nearly as many options as you think you do. And the problem with social media is that it gives this illusion of expansion of reach. Just because you got 5,000 likes on a photo doesn't mean there are 5,000 qualified people that are good enough to be in a relationship with you. As unique as you are as a person, as far as your upbringing and your education and your romantic experiences from the past, do you really think that many people know exactly how to handle you? People need to go outside. They need to have conversations with real people. Because the truth of the matter is, it's easy as hell to be interesting over some DMs and some photos. It's easy as hell to be the hottest in the city in a 10-second clip. But when dealing with people in real life, where you don't get to edit the minutes, where you don't get the benefits of angles and filters, you know, when you're actually in the moment with somebody and you're not trying to upkeep an image. I'm talking about when you're in your most genuine form. It is so difficult to narrow down who is possibly qualified to be your partner. I would advise people for the summer, get off of social media, get off of these dating websites, go outside and meet real, living, breathing people. Because I said it once, I will continue to say it for the rest of my days. Social media is not a real place.
I ain't gonna lie, if I was y'all, I wouldn't take social media so serious, bro. There's people that post people that they hate. There's just fake people all around, fabricating shit, just lying. Just sitting there lying. It's a facade, bro. It's like a dream world. It's an imaginary world. It's not authentic real life. People could really portray whoever they want to be on the internet, bro. Don't take that shit serious at all. God bless. Happy New Year.
Media is not a real place. And I get it, but I can't resonate with that 100%. Because I understand the damage that social media has done to this generation. Romans 12 verse 2 says, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Just the very nature of scrolling up and down a feed can lead to being conformed to the pattern of this world. Social media may be filtered, but it leads to an unfiltered reality that we all have to live in. And I think the faster we realize that social media is an influence market, the faster we would grab a mic and share concepts from the Word of God that can influence people in the right direction. Whoever holds the mic holds the attention and the mind of the next generation. There's a market for the mind, and the enemy is after it. But I want to be an advocate and speaker for the kingdom market. And I think if you feel inspired, then you should join in. There can never be enough content creators for God.
Bro, newsflash, everybody ain't gonna be a millionaire. Everybody not gonna be a billionaire. Everybody not gonna be just traveling state to state, country to country on a regular basis, living in this social media dream world, gang. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not it for everybody. But people be downplaying jobs that are really needed in the world. Motherfuckers will be talking about some, oh, don't nobody want to be no electrician. Don't nobody want to be no doctor. Don't nobody want to be no lawyer. Don't nobody want to be no judge. Don't nobody want to be no nurse. Don't nobody want to be no... Bro, what are you talking about? Somebody has to do it. Talking about don't nobody want to be no plumber. Who gonna clean them toilets when your shitty booty clog them? Motherfuckers will be like some, oh, don't nobody want to be no teacher. Bitch, how you gonna learn how to count? Now, I get all the extra stuff when you get to high school. You don't need all that extra stuff that they be trying to teach you. But you definitely need simple multiplication, adding, subtracting, and division. Minimum. You gotta learn that somewhere, bro. Stop living in this dream world that social media has y'all gassed up, bro. It's okay to be regular. I promise you.
One thing I take a lot of pride in is I would never let social media change my perspective on my life and how I should run my life. I would never let Instagram dictate what I should look like, what I should sound like, where I should go for my birthday, what I should do on my free time, what I look like, if I should get a BBL, if I should get bigger lips, bigger ass, bigger titties, if the type of niggas that I should be going for, the type of friendships I should be looking for. I would never let y'all change anything about that, okay? I run my life how I want to run my life. I feel like we should all be doing that. Like, so many insecurities are coming from social media. Y'all see shit on social media and think like you're slacking in life, think that this is what you're supposed to look like, think that when you first meet a nigga, you should be begging him for pay for shit, think that your friends are always supposed to show up even if they're not available. Like, I feel like social media, like, what the fuck? This shit got such an impact on us. It's crazy. Like, they determining how much money you should spend on your birthday, what you should do on your birthday. You shouldn't be out in the city, but you need to be out the country. Like, don't let social media fucking trick y'all, okay? Into being broke and into being miserable.
Society have to stop fetishizing aesthetics and fantasizing over people's lives that are not our own. Y'all sit up here trying to pray for a life that you don't know nothing about. This girl could be getting black eyes off camera and you want her life because she got cute plates. You can only find out so much about someone's life through a 60-second clip, and even that clip gets edited, cut, and manipulated before it even reaches you. Social media only shows the highlight and what people are okay with letting you see.
One day you're going to wake up and realize that social media is not a real place. It's a place for people to come to live out a fantasy. A lot of people just say anything just to put a video out. Some people just lie just to get, what did they call it, clickbait, or just to get people riled up and engaging in their content. And it's people out here, which I think a lot of people pay for views and for traffic to come on their page and to get put in the algorithm. Because I had a video, 3 videos that TikTok told me could have went viral, but the reason why they not going viral because I refuse to pay $48. And if I gotta pay for views, I won't get them. If it's not coming natural, I don't want it. I don't want anything that's forced or feel like I have to give money to get it. I would never get it. So until you wake up and realize that what you're doing in life is okay, what you're doing in life is enough, what you're doing on this social media platform, when it's time for you to go viral, you will go viral. When the right people see your stuff, the right people will see your stuff. And to be technically honest, and I'm speaking for myself, sometimes it's the content we put out that don't resonate with people. That's the reason why certain people don't see it. You know how we see our we post a video and it might have 400 views but only 2 likes. Yeah, all them people could have easily liked your stuff, but they didn't. So the main thing is your content that's not grabbing the people in to stay and watch. And it's also TikTok not putting it out in the algorithm. But yeah, good morning. It is chilly out here, but yeah, let's have a happy and productive day.
The world of social media is not real. For the 15th million fucking time, this shit is not fucking real. It's all about views, followers, and motherfucking money. Y'all don't understand some of these relationship channels that run not really like solid relationships. Y'all just going off of what the fuck y'all see. Y'all don't understand some of these influencers is broke. Y'all, it's like y'all don't get it. Y'all see these little weak ass 5-minute or less videos and y'all swear to God y'all know what the fuck is going on and y'all have absolutely no idea. And it's not just down to influencers and content creators. It's also with celebrities. Y'all really think y'all be knowing what's real tea? And then when y'all get the real tea, y'all try to come up with y'all own shit. Y'all have no fucking clue. It's time for y'all to fucking take a step back and really like see shit for what it is, because I really don't think y'all really know. And then y'all want to fucking have a viral moment so fucking bad just to say that y'all have a viral moment, and then what? You get your viral moment, and then what? You willing to fucking record any and every fucking thing, let go of all your morals and ethics to catch a viral moment, to post it online, and then what? Most of the time you're not even gonna get paid for it because you're not in those type of program. So you just gonna go viral. And then what? Y'all let social media influence y'all so much to the point where y'all started to get fucking delusional, bro. Now actually get delusional. Start believing these people fuck with y'all and they really don't. Start believing these celebrities rock with y'all and they really don't. Start believing these relationships is real and they really ain't. Start believing these pranks is really genuine and they really don't be. You see a couple of seconds of a fucking clip and think that you know what the fuck is going on, draw your own conclusions and shit. Y'all be building these parasocial ass relationships and shit. Like, I need y'all to go, I keep on saying, go touch some fucking grass. Go get some air. Go look at the fucking sun.
So people who know me know that I don't generally watch people's stories on Instagram or just stories in general, wherever, TikTok. I don't get on Instagram every day to like scroll my actual like feed. Sometimes I'll scroll the explore page, but I don't actually get on Instagram and then actually scroll every single day. I used to. There was a time where I would get on Instagram and I would scroll until like before the algorithm changed, where it said you're all caught up. There was a time where I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. And I always found it interesting when people that you know in real life get offended by the fact that you don't watch their stories, or if they post, sorry, I was choking on the egg earlier and it went down the wrong way and now my throat is a little irritated. But people get offended, like the people that you know in real life would be like, oh, well, you didn't see my story, or I posted it on my story when you asked them a question about something. Like, as if we don't know each other. So if there was something you wanted to tell me, or something you wanted to show me, or something you wanted me to know, I would think that you would reach out to me directly. No? I hate that we live in an age where if you don't keep up with somebody's life on social media, then they feel like either you don't care about them or you're not interested in their story. You know, like, that is just crazy to me. And the reason why I do that is for personal reasons. Like, years ago, my Instagram ended up getting hacked. So I didn't have Instagram for like 6 months or so. And when it finally got restored, I decided that I felt better without it. And it is like, there have been studies, it's a known fact that social media affects your brain and how your I guess I don't want to say self-esteem, but like, like just your thinking. So I was finding myself waking up happier, in a better mood, and I felt better throughout the day when I didn't have Instagram. And this is when I was scrolling, watching everybody's story, scrolling my page. And I realized when I wasn't doing that, because subconsciously I wasn't comparing myself to other people, like, oh, so-and-so is on vacation right now. I wish I was on vacation. So-and-so has their own business. Why don't I own my own business? It's like subconsciously you compare yourself to people and you don't even realize it. And not to say that social media is like the worst thing ever and it's the only thing that's affecting your mental health, but it doesn't help. And for me, I realized that sitting and watching everything that people do all day, every day, where they've been, where they're going, and most of it is lies anyway, was like affecting me subconsciously, and it was just making me be in a bad mood for no reason. And that's why I don't do it. And I just find it so funny that we are now in a generation where if you don't keep up with people, then they get offended by it. Like, send a text, call, and like, but people now know that I don't, like, people would be like, oh, well, I know you don't watch stories, but it's still people that would be like, well, it's on my story. And I just wish we weren't in this place. Like, I guess there's really nothing to do about it at this point, because we're so addicted to social media and so addicted to the high we get from posting. I post on social media, but I don't watch stuff. So, I mean, if people want to watch it, that's fine, but people always like, well, you always get up there. Yeah, I post, and then I close the app. But I just wish that we weren't in this place that we are. But I mean, here we are. But I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on that? Have anybody else like experienced I guess been on social media for a while and noticed like a positive or even negative effect on like their mental health? Because it's bad.
Am I the only fucking one getting tired of people on the internet saying that the internet ain't real life? Am I the only motherfucking one that's sitting here getting tired of people talking about, oh no, the internet ain't real life, it ain't real? Motherfucker, you ain't AI. You are not AI, you are not computer generated, you ain't now what that ChatGPT, whatever that shit is, you ain't that. Real people are making content. You are a real person that is dancing in front of that camera. You are a real person that's sitting over here fighting or videotaping somebody fighting or all in domestic violence shit in your house. You a real person. I seen one of my followers was online fussing with the live because of skit. Because the people that watched her skit was getting in her ass about the skit. I said, well, look, baby, I understand that it was a skit and you were just acting. But you already know what you're acting about, what you're doing. You're a real person doing it. You are a real person doing it. You know how short-minded people is in the world? Stop saying that. You are the real person doing it. AI didn't create you to make that goddamn skit. You a real person, so automatically in their mind they're gonna be like, oh damn. So you like to be a side piece and stuff like that? You doing a skit on being a side piece? Oh, you like getting your ass whooped or acting like you're cheating because you're acting in the skit like you're getting cheated on, or you are a cheater or whatever. You know how many people in movies get hated? And it's a fucking movie. It's a movie. Lawrence Fishburne got castrated, like they castrated Lawrence Fishburne for playing Ike Turner, and he wasn't even a real Ike Turner. The dude that was in that Tyler Perry movie, the one that played the lawyer, and he had lost his legs. Y'all know the movie. Still to this day, everybody hate him. And it wasn't even him. It was an act. And people so short-minded they still hate that man for doing that act. You know how many villains don't play the movies and people hate them? So what make you think you're different from a movie than the internet? Watch what you put on the internet. I don't give a fuck if it was an act and it ain't real life to you. To the average person on this line, they think they're gonna look at it as it's real, motherfucker. Or you looked at like that from what the skit you did, or what you say online, or how you act online. People automatically, the first thing they're gonna do is think you're that. Or they need to change on how they think. No, motherfucker, you need to think about who you making content for, and automatically, what's gonna happen when you make certain content, when you do certain things and say certain things. Like I said, you ain't AI.
Getting on social media, bro, and be realizing like a lot of these niggas are like fucking remedial or just plain fucking dumb, bro. They say a lot of stupid shit, they do a lot of stupid shit, bro, but in real life, bro, I pray and hope to God these niggas don't be acting like this. Again, when I say I'm so tired of the fucking 50-50 as a man, red pill content of niggas trying to downplay women and men going back and forth, and I'm so tired of this shit, bro. Bro, it get to a point where niggas just gotta grow up, bro, because then, man, this shit is so annoying. I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if it's just rage bait. I don't know what the fuck it is, bro, but it's like, bro, the content is like the same watered down shit, like just trying to get a reaction out of all people. Motherfuckers be in their 20s and 30s, bro, acting like little ass kids, bro, having these weak ass debates and shit. Only thing that's gonna get you out of there, bro, is a couple likes and views, but you can't stop, and nobody can take away the fact that you say stupid shit.
Pray for your generation, because we did not have to deal with what you've had to deal with, and it's our fault for putting it in your hands. There were no 9 million opinions of every moment of my day. And,
no documentation.
People that like you, and then suddenly they hate you, and you don't understand why. And I never had I don't even know what you call it, an Instagram account. Never had one. Link. What's the other name?
LinkedIn.
Twitter. I don't have any of those things.
You don't have a LinkedIn?
No. I have a Cadillac.
It's not realistic. It's just fucking not. One of the trends I'm fucking with lately is de-influencing, because I feel like a lot of times we get so wrapped up in social media that it literally skews reality for us. This shit's not fucking real, Bookie. Get you to believe whatever the fuck I want you to believe. So easy. Like, one of the creators, and if I find her again, I'm gonna tag her in the comments. She fucking hit the nail on the head. Like, some of this shit does not make fucking sense. Bitch, we're not spending $300 a week on hauls. We're not fucking going on trips every fucking month. It's not realistic. Now, may that be some people's reality? Absolutely. But I want y'all to be so fucking for real right now. You will get caught up in comparing yourself to people on the internet and not realizing that these people are fucking liars. They're just good at making it seem like they got it like that, okay? Don't get caught up in social media world. Stop comparing yourself. Sometimes you just got to put the phone down and sit in silence like a serial killer in the dark and decompress from what you're being fed all day. Like, a lot of rage baiting has happened. People are literally getting paid to be divisive and go home to the very thing that they tell you to hate. Stop getting caught up in this, okay, Bookie? You're doing fucking great. Put the fucking phone down, touch grass, enjoy your life, and know that your destined path is for you, not what Big Booty 3456 said on TikTok.
You know what I'm tired of? Everybody acting like they real as fuck online. But in reality, y'all be grimy in real life. Like, real grimy.
Most women don't post a lot of pictures. Most women are at work. Homie, you're trying to compare women to what you see on Instagram. Why you think you don't never see any normal looking women on Instagram? All the women you see on Instagram is drop dead gorgeous. 5'5". Why you don't see normal women who look like our mothers them on there? Listen, homie, so you got women and you got ladies. Women and ladies don't look at hoes and compete. They look at them with disgust, a shame, and disdain. Women don't look at hoes and compete. Women are secure. Women can go years without having sex and not be bothered by not having sex. That's the hoe. That's the bitch. A woman isn't worried about what the world sees her as, so she don't pay attention to the world. Homie, a woman is, man, homie, we don't get to see many, so it's hard for us to say, man, that's what a woman do.
So fake on social media. People just give you this idea of who they think you want them to look like. And it's lies, and it's a facade, it's filters, it's retouching, it's hurry up, clean up this space so that we can look like we've got our crap together. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm a mom of 3 under 3. Life is messy. My hair fell out. I gained 50 pounds with each pregnancy. I've got stretch marks galore. My stomach is saggy. My tits are down to my belly button, and I don't care. And you know what? I look like the majority of America, and I need everybody else to know that that is the norm, not the other crap you're seeing on social media.
Have y'all noticed in real life, people really do not have interactions with each other, no conversations, no nothing, bro. But on social media, it's so different. It's so crazy, bro, how we can be friends on Facebook, talk every single day, tag each other and shit, post things and everything, comment on each other videos and pictures. But in real person, bro, we do not talk. People are so comfortable with being friends online. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with that because I done did that before. But don't have conversations, are not real friends in real life. That goes to show you, bro, how comfortable people can actually be with themselves online, but in person, it's totally different. Like, it's so weird opening up to people, bro, going up to people, having conversations and shit like that. But on social media, bro, people play a character, bro, and that's not who they truly is. Get somebody in real life, bro, to have a real normal conversation with somebody and watch them fold. The conversation will literally turn left quick because people don't have social skills. And I'm gonna be honest, bro, I was one of them people for a long ass time.
Biggest scam of our generation, well, one of the biggest scams of our generation is pictures being the highest measure of beauty. Do you know how many baddies, just beautiful people who don't realize how attractive they are just because the phone and the cameras don't capture their beauty as well as our eyes can? Those are the I look better in videos people, or the I look better in person people. Have you ever been watching somebody just talk or just be themselves, or just interact with the world, and you're just like, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful. And pictures don't even have the capacity to capture what we see in those moments. That's why pictures being the measure of beauty really bothers me, because we were meant to be viewed through interaction. Like, it's very rare that you'll be talking to somebody and they're just there, like, posed up, like no, that's a pose for a picture. But when people are interacting, I really feel like you get to see the full essence of their beauty. This isn't to say that we shouldn't aim to photograph ourselves, because we obviously should at every stage of our life. So why wouldn't we? This stage of our life isn't permanent, very temporary. Let's memorialize it. But don't beat yourself up too much if you're like, every picture I take, I just feel so trapped. It's okay. If you're not a picture person, I actually think that everybody has a specific way that they can learn to be photographed that suits them, like a specific vibe. But, you know, not everybody's going to put in the time to learn that. If you're not a picture person, it is okay. Like, in person, you probably got it.
I can't be the only person. Does anyone else notice that the real pretty people on social media aren't that pretty in real life? But then the people that aren't that pretty on social media are actually like really pretty in real life?
The people who you see on social media, 99.9% of them are faking it. And you're never actually gonna know if they're faking it if you're living a real lifestyle. So I'm able to spot somebody faking it, like off the bat. Off the bat, I just have to see somebody one time, because lifestyle is perception. And if somebody can see somebody living a certain type of lifestyle, they're gonna wanna copy how they live.
Mainstream celebrity culture is a consequence of our society being dumb. Like this, the Department of Education getting gutted over the next 5 years is actually gonna be way, way, way worse for society than you can imagine. But one of the issues that I'm starting to see, whether it's like the 20v1 YouTube videos, or it's just like ridiculous rage bait content like podcast clips, or just something that completely destroys and divides the collective consciousness from being anything or even desiring to work amongst each other. When people's first resource for education, when people's first resource for learning and wisdom is not books, is not elders, is not mentors, is not professionals, is not real life, and then they bring that onto the internet, their reality is basically the digital realities that they enter first and learn from first as a means of adjusting their real lives. I hope I said that in a way that can make sense. Instead of living your real life and then posting online, for most people is what I'm starting to see, most people are manufacturing a life that they're living in the real world and selling it online, and then trying to get validation from it online to then hopefully turn out some kind of compensation so they can live that life, fake it till you make it style. Or they don't have any leadership, any wise people, any mentors, anything that they respect, at least in their real world. So the only place they learn from and develop their consciousness
is on these digital platforms, spending 8, 10, 12, 16 for some of us hours a day on these phones. Most of probably on these networking platforms. So if our psyche over time is being more and more influenced, more and more educated by peers who also don't educate themselves, and we're all just pitting against each other for the validation of other people who don't educate themselves, who don't exist in the real world, who don't value the wisdom of the generations before us and want to apply it to our lives now so we can probably have a good future. When you're constantly engaging in that kind of space, like this grand multiverse echo chamber that is social media, you lose appreciation for the grounding that is reality. For the grounding that is, hey, I have a reputation that I can't sacrifice being an absolute fucking buffoon on the internet. Or I have a relationship in the real world that I can't sacrifice being an absolute womanizer or a sleaze in the DMs. Or I have a real life, like family or tribe or community that would be pretty disappointed in me if they knew what kind of behavior I was engaging in on these online platforms. Much less like just in comment sections. But we have allowed people to see that not only could they fully exist online, but they could make an actual living off of fully existing online, as if that wasn't going to be a problem in the sense that they were going to be enslaved to the reality of the digital space and limited to the very, very, very small, very constricted space for wisdom and consciousness that exists on these platforms. Because the best way to increase engagement is sharing ignorance, is sharing controversial, volatile shit, and is calling people out for bullshit instead of handling our own business. All that negative shit is the shit that keeps people playing on these platforms instead of just using them as the tools they are to help our real lives. I really want to smash on that. Now, with all that out of the way, and I apologize for that being so long, but with all that out of the way, what I'm trying to say is that we as people in a social media age, instead of a mainstream media age, we aren't just waiting to be fed celebrities anymore. We are choosing our celebrities. We are choosing our heroes. Yet, when certain people go viral for doing degenerate shit, for doing stupid ass shit, community dividing shit, we blame the industry, we blame the mainstream, we blame the platforms that they're on, but we don't blame ourselves for being the people that make them popular. We are the ones who log into our phones. We are the ones who choose to watch. We are the ones who share and engage and comment and rage bait on top of these videos. And that's what the social media age has allowed us access to, an opportunity to choose who our leaders are, choose who our celebrities are. But so many of us are enslaved to our algorithms. Very, very well done by the tech companies. But so many of us are enslaved to our individual algorithms and to the unique, very, very narrow perspective that we get to experience on these platforms. We don't really get to appreciate how collectively we are the ones pointing out and calling out and raising celebrities. And like, again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, if I did say it, the 20v1 videos, the rage bait videos, the podcast clips, like all of that shit, bro. There's no intention, there's no collective intention to like lift people up who add positivity to our community. And even if we do that, there's so many people who are just so insecure and bitter by seeing those people with power and authority, they get torn down anyway. Because half of the shit they're saying forces you to stand in a mirror and be like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Oh, I'm not taking responsibility. Oh, I need to change my ways right now, or else my life's going to be at the mercy of my own fucking ignorance. So it's like, what I'm trying to say with this video is like, just as much as we as a collective are responsible for our own like digital sedation, I also want us to recognize, like, are we choosing celebrities in this age that make us feel good about the poor habits and decisions that we're making in our lives? And are we choosing celebrities who sedate us from how shitty reality is? Or are we choosing creators and celebrities that actually influence us to be the fullest version of ourselves, and beyond that, actually engage and give value and significance to the real world before absolutely selling our souls to the validation that comes online? Because now you don't know if it's an AI bot behind that account. You don't know if it's a 65-year-old cosplaying a 17-year-old. You don't know what the fuck is going on these platforms anymore. I'm not sure we ever did, but I mean, this is just me kind of throwing it at you now. I guess how I want to conclude this video is just, you as an individual have to be so intentional with who you follow and who you subscribe to and where you invest your energy. Because I promise you, there is some kind of reciprocation happening. And if you're just like following people and subscribing to people who just allow you to just feel comfortable in your own like set stage of ignorance, rather than like truly force you to question your beliefs, truly force you to develop yourself and to stand on business, the business that you speak, like, you're going to be at the mercy of whatever the culture wants the collective to do. Even if what the culture wants the collective to do is unhealthy and misaligned with what your goals are, what your dreams really are. over the next 10 years, like 10 to 20 years, you're going to see a ridiculous split in the people who used social media and used these like tech platforms and technologies as tools to develop their real world and their real selves. And you're going to see everybody who just grew so like codependent onto these platforms as a means of making their lives more convenient, not knowing that convenience has to end at some point before you just end up completely sacrificing total personal responsibility. And at that, autonomy. That's what many people don't understand. We're creating a world so convenient by tools that we can just project responsibility onto that at some point we are not going to have any responsibility over our lives, and we're going to have just backwards moonwalk, or not backwards, real life moonwalked off a boardwalk into our own slavery. Because we've had a world so convenient, we don't even know what it means to be human anymore. And at that, we have to be owned by somebody who is human or somebody who thinks they can save us from our own animalistic behavior. And if that's not ourselves, it's called a master. And that's the type of society that we're walking ourselves into. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. The next industrial revolution is slavery.
In the cemetery, the tombstone set from your birthday to 2020 under your name. Boy, please get shoot up, cause man, we not get too fuck. Me love it when them young and group up. The boy, them soft, like the pillow, them in the eye. Tell her who look like fruit in a fruit cup. Boy, gone in a mug, but not because of no virus. Him gone in a the mug because the pussy tried to Trinidad. But man, never mind.